say a prayer.
You gotta say a prayer, real nigga shit. Let's say a prayer.
Let's say a prayer for days.
Alright, silence for a second. We're about to make a prayer. Father God, please guide us in this game. We're all coming in the way, take away for ourselves. In Father's name, amen. Amen.
I heard bad things about Bendale, I'm not gonna lie. Just there's a lot of fights, a lot of problems, you know, and I was like, damn, like how many fights am I gonna get into? Like, I'm not trying to fight nobody.
Now I want you guys to really play with lots of energy. Come out with lots of energy. We never allow the team to get into our heads. Okay? If our teammate falls, what do? We go pick them up. We respect the other team, we respect the referees, they got a job to do. Okay? We play our game, we do our jobs, we'll be okay. Alright?
My name is Colin Dye. I'm the principal at Bendale BTI. I've been principal here since the 2015-16 school year. You know, 57 long years, and this is the final year. And I am the last principal of Bendale. At Bendale, we look around and we think, okay, what are some of the things that have had the greatest impact? And you know, we cannot talk about impact without talking about basketball. You know, we've seen a lot of it. Early in the morning, after school, late in the night, 6 to 8 on Wednesdays. And you know, I must give credit to Mr. Harrison for spearheading the basketball influence at Bendale. You see, working with kids outside of normal school activity, we see the students in different light, and we interact with them in different ways, and it helps to build relationships. Relationships need time to build, and Peter Harrison spends a lot of time with students. He spends time early from 7:30 to 9 with students. He spends time 6 to 8 Friday evenings. He spends time with them and they call upon him outside of school hours. So spending time with students led to strong relationships, led to influence, it led to engagement. You know, many students, even after they graduate, they still came back because of the relationships that were built and the habit that was developed around basketball.
My name is Trevor Shirk. I went to Bendale back in the 2000s. It didn't have a great reputation. Everybody thought it was a problem school, and they thought the people who got sent there were people who had problems. But that just isn't the case. I was in grade 8 making my decision. I could have gone to Wexford. I chose Bendale because I didn't want to sit in a class of 30 kids with my pencil tapping on the desk, annoying everybody, trying to get energy out. Here I was able to learn hands-on. Coming here changed a lot of people's perceptions, mine included. It changed my mother's perception. She didn't like the idea that I was coming here. It, you know, like I said, it had a bad reputation, but it changed my behavior by the first half of grade 9. She changed her tune. She realized that it was giving me what I needed, and it's given a lot of kids what they needed.
Morning. All right.
My name is Michael Kissy, and I'm the head basketball coach at Bendale BTI. When we first started out this year, we weren't sure whether the school was closing down or not, and I had this idea of how do we, really make this year special. I remember when, I first announced to the team that, we were going to head out to Collingwood. A lot of them kind of, gave me this blank stare and had no idea, where that was. I think we spent about an hour talking about where Collingwood was and whether there were any black people up there, and the fear of not knowing what they're going to encounter, or the distance that they were away from home. It definitely spoke volumes. There's so much more to our to this world, but there's just so much more to the city, and a lot of these young people were limited in their exposure of it. So I was really excited for them. I really wanted them to have a good time. Winning the tournament wasn't high on the priority list. I think I really wanted these guys to be exposed to a different community. I wanted them to connect with other student athletes from the province. I wanted them to really experience something different. I wanted them to know that there was more to what they know, which was Scarborough and the neighborhood. There's more to that, and there's so much out there beyond their walls of comfort.
So my name's Dinesh. I've been here for 4 years. The school has been really, really good. I learned a lot. There's a lot of great teachers. Like, they'll be helping you a lot, and they're just like a parent to you, and they're always with you, helping you. When I first started basketball, I think it would be grade 11, 12. At the time, I did not start no ball team. I just played ball. I was kind of scared, worried, or all worried, scared. But when I came to Bendale, I realized there was a team. And when I first came here, I did not join because I felt like this is more be competitive, and it's just I wasn't ready or like that. And I got told by a teacher, don't let nothing go you down. If you want to play, you play. Play for yourself.
I'm a firm believer in providing broad-based education. And that's what Bendale does. It provides programming for students that you can't get at a collegiate. You just cannot get it because it's just two different systems. And the staff at Bendale, I've had now connections with Bendale now for over 20 years. And I still keep in touch with some of the staff people there, Peter Harrison in particular. And watching kids grow up and come back and contribute to Bendale, like Sheldon Benoit, he's younger than me, and watching him come back and doing what he does or doing what he did with those kids at Bendale, it shows you that's a special building. Not everyone could work in that building. Not everyone deserves to work in that building, because those kids there, they're not needy. They're looking for someone special to help guide them, and that's what Bendale did.
My name is Brandon. I'm a graduate of class of 2017. Bendale isn't really fucked up. It's not really messed up. It's just I guess over the years people thought that Bendale was bad. Some people who don't even attend Bendale come here and say, this is full of retards, drug dealers, and it's just bad people. People are stupid. Growing up here, I would say growing up, I didn't see that. I seen it was kind, it was kind-hearted. People were giving and stuff. You actually had fun. That's what I think of Bendale, Yeah. We had to learn how to work as a team, which was fun. Over the years too, we learned how to be a family as one. And overall, we always had each other's backs, which was good about basketball, other than anything else in the school. That's one thing I learned about basketball too. It's it's not always about sports and having a big ego. It was always about family, and family was the main thing here at Bendale. It was good.
Bendale isn't some people spread rumors about how people getting yoked up and all of that, about the school is dangerous and all that. It's not really what you think. Really think about it, the people in the school is chill. Like how the principals say, we're family, we're gonna ride out for each other.
I worked at Bendale for from approximately 2004 up until 2013, 14. Growing up, I didn't really have a good opinion about Bendale. It was it was common knowledge that you were sent there if you weren't the smartest kid or if you had some other behavior problem. When I started working in education, I started working at the Highbrook Learning Center at this program called the Safety Program, which was a suspension program for high school students. Highbrook Learning Center is right behind Bendale. I remember having to walk through the parking lot at Bendale to get to Highbrook, and I would actually feel that I'd have to bow up, and kind of make sure that I was on my P's and Q's, and that was a serious thing. It was known as a very tough school. And then I ended up at Bendale in 2004, and instantly I was quite shocked that the opinion that I had of the school, the students, wasn't really what it was. And I basically then fell in love and stayed at the school all the way, even after I became a teacher. I immediately resonated with those kids because once I would look at their credit counseling summaries, I'd look at their addresses, they were all common names. Whether it be Cataraqui, whether it be Gordon Ridge, or some of these neighborhoods, you know that the kids were not coming from the best situations. The gentleman by the name of Peter Harrison, who was always involved with basketball. He's a guidance counselor at Bendale, but his probably biggest impact was these Wednesday night runs. The Wednesday night runs would consist of former Bendale coaches and teachers, former Bendale students and current students. And the competition was amazing. The basketball was amazing. It gave kids in that area an outlet to obviously get exercise and get off the street. But probably the most important thing is a lot of times you would have these counseling sessions with students, present day students, on what they need to do to be successful in school. It really fostered an environment for students to grow, not only on athletically in the various sports that we had, but also academically as well.
So Wednesday night basketball at Bendale, it's something that has to be close to 20 years old now. It has to be. I remember the first night of that program. It was myself, Peter Harrison, the community police officer, and another teacher. Those were the only 4 people that showed up. And we just played, I think we ended up just playing 2-on-2. And I remember the teacher never came back because he was sore for weeks. The police officer, he came back a couple of times. He was actually a decent player. But I remember Peter saying he wanted to start something where the adults and the kids could interact and through basketball. So it wasn't just about playing. It was about how we interact and how we engage the kids in the middle of playing, after playing, before playing. So the kids could see themselves in us. So it was very important for Peter to, once we opened it up to the community, well, certain members of the community, it was very important that they understood that they knew that they were coming out not just to play, but that they're going to help mentor these kids.
Okay, so the Wednesday night thing. I have never done this. This is like enlightened self-interest. I do this because I love it. It's so much fun to come to the gym, see these guys. There have been, some difficult moments maybe on a Wednesday night when guys are getting into it with each other too much, they can't stop. So we just but I closed the gym. What did it mean for you guys if I shut the gym down for a couple of weeks?
I want to see that guy here again.
I was upset.
Ross, you gotta wait till next Wednesday, man. Look at your selfish action that's brought upon us, right?
There he
It's the champ is here.
Got my phone, got my charger, got my keys to the gym. It's all good to go.
Like everyone can say, like, yeah, he's like a father figure, and like,
100%,
like,
man.
and like what he meant to everyone. Like he was just a person, because he's a guidance counselor, so like he was like the best person to like go talk to. Like you're having a bad day in class, like you're just there and you don't want to hear talk no more. You're like, all right, later, teacher. I'm going to Harrison. I'm going to Harrison.
Harrison, if it wasn't for Wednesday ball, man, I'd be outside every day. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have. You helped me by promoting my machining. Right now, I'm a 4th year apprenticeship in tool and die. You know what I mean? That's why I always try to come back and you know what I mean, so you can show me off a little bit.
So I met Peter Harrison. I believe I met him when I was working in the safety program, and he might have. I think the reason how we met was he was bringing one of the students there who maybe gotten in trouble to do a few weeks at our program. Instantly, once I met Peter, the first thing that came out is that his love for basketball and sports in general. Once I started working there, Peter became a very important mentor in my life, mentoring me as we were both working in the guidance office, him providing me information about what my future was going to be, becoming a teacher. But mainly we bonded over athletics and sports. And, you know, my background being in the CFL and playing football.
He does a lot more than just being a guidance counselor,
Or like a coach, like an assistant coach.
Like he's there as family. Like he treats. Like if you're on the ball team, not even just on the ball team. Like if you're a person who just wants to try, you're family to him. Like that's pretty much it.
Even though it's not in his job description to help out with legal problems outside of school, with kids running into the law and everything, and the fact that him coming out of nowhere and stepping up to help us get back on the right track, it's like, it means a lot, because like that's my freedom, and he helped me with that. He helped us with that, actually.
Because without Harrison, there would be no Wednesday ball. Wednesday was a good way of keeping us out of trouble as a young age, especially a lot of us, you know. So thank you. And without Mr. Williams, there would be no ball team, right? Like, a lot of us were very undisciplined and hard of hearing,
unnecessary.
And he's the reason why some of us graduated also, you know? He's the reason why some of us kept their grades up, because student athlete first, right? So if we weren't getting our grades up, like we weren't going to classes, we weren't passing our classes, there's no ball for us, you know?
I think like the main thing about Harrison too was like he always gave you like the confidence like not to give up.
Yeah.
Right? Like he always pushed you, you know, you're not like a failure. You can't do this because of like, you know, your nationality or because like you came off the streets or something. He saw everyone as equal.
Yeah, honestly,
which I think we can all agree. He always like gave you the confidence to, you know, you guys can do better. Even after high school, you guys can still have potential to do whatever you need to do, right? He never gave up on you, which is the good thing about Harrison, which is like, as Justin said, he's like that father figure, you know?
I just wanted to say, I have never seen the ball bounce off the rim more than that second game. In the first game, we were kind of tight, but the second game, you guys were taking really good shots, and the rim was just spitting the ball back at it. There's nothing you can do about that. The energy you played with, the effort, the skill, the guys on the bench all into it, man, this feels like a breath of fresh air being with you guys here today. Let's just clear our heads, eat some pizza, and then next game we're going to give it. Does that sound good? Yeah.
What is this? I got mad. The man.
I heard you in town.
Yeah.
I heard you in town, man. Jeez. What's going on, brother? Oh, man.
Wow.
See you, man? Yeah, man. What's going on? Yeah, I want to see your brother, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See him.
This is Leroy Williams. Oh, snap.
It's good to see you, man. If it wasn't because of this place, like, I wouldn't have found the love for food that I have now. Like, I always loved eating food, but creating that, and now that I'm actually in the field for, it's been like, I think 15 years.
Nice.
Right? So getting into that and just moving on up. Oh man, it's been amazing. I just learned all that I've learned from here, and then grew from it. Went to George Brown, grew from that, and where I am now. It all.
I spent the majority of time at school. Right? I could say everybody that I knew was my family. You know? I didn't go to all classes, and I wasn't on time to all classes. Because if it wasn't for Bendale and Mr. Ron Zimmer, I wouldn't know tooling that. I wouldn't know nothing about machining. And Mr. Gage. And Mr. Gage, because actually it was Mr. Gage first, design and tech, right? But if it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't have known the trade.
When my parents told me that I was going to Bendale, I'm like, fuck. I'm done. I'm done. See, I'm not like hard like you guys, definitely. Like I didn't know nobody from Bendale. Like you guys all had like connections and everything, and I was just going in there like by myself. And I was just like, yo, I'm gonna fucking die. So like my mentality when I first came was just like, you know, just try and join a bunch of sports teams because I was athletic. Not now, obviously. Just to try and really get myself out there and meet people that I definitely normally wouldn't hang out with, and I feel like that definitely worked.
People have this image that trade schools, for some reason, are a place where troubled students that are slow, students that can't keep their grades up, just a whole bunch of foolishness that isn't supported anywhere. It's just word of mouth. So it's just like that was always disappointing.
My grade 9 year, we didn't have like a set team. Right? I really didn't care about school. You know, I was just doing me. I was playing ball, but without a meaning. You know what I'm saying? My grade 10 year, it was like a fresh team. We actually had a season. We had a different coach, and I was benched. Like I was benched the whole season. Didn't step on for 1 minute. Like I went every practice, didn't miss. I was always at school, right? But I was still doing like, you know, smoking, drinking, you know, partying.
The key thing for these guys and for the students at the school in general is resilience. It's so easy to give up, you know? Give up, quit. I'm gonna walk out. I'm not coming back to this gym. I'm not coming back to this class. Whatever. These guys are resilient. They keep coming back.
My grade 11 year, that's when Michael coached, right? And he gave me the start. Like he gave me the motivation. Like, yo, you can play. Let's play. I'm like, yeah, man. Like, you know, like once he told me that, I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna stop doing all the drugs, alcohol, and I'm gonna focus. And like, it got my attention, right? Because like, no coach gave me that chance to like, you know, there's more than basketball.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like my grade 9 and 10.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna graduate at all. I thought I was gonna drop out, just go. And I like for me, I was fine with it. I'm like, because that's all my friends do. You know, they drop out, they drug deal. You know, they gang bang, they do some stuff.
Yeah, you're like,
and it was like, and I was a part of it, right? But then like, when Michael came, like he showed me like, yo, just ball, but you gotta think there's school, man. Like there's so much more out there, right? And he gave me that chance, and I'm like, that I instantly like I went from like doing stuff to get money, right?
I remember.
And I was there, like everyone saw me as like just a kid that played basketball, right? Yeah. I wasn't known for anything else.
One of the things that Michael and I experienced was that we took our teams. Of course, you guys are long gone then, but our teams, when we played, Michael always had. You know what? You always shake hands with the ref, shake hands with the other team. You play hard at the end. You shake hands again, and you don't talk. Like you just and you know what? We always got compliments from other coaches, like how hard we played, how well we conducted ourselves.
I have to give some real thanks to Harrison and Mr. Williams.
Thanks.
For one, they came to see me when my back was against the wall. You know what I mean? Like I said, if it wasn't for them pushing me in school,
nice.
I wouldn't be here right now.
The fact that Bendale's closing, it's just to me an end of an era of Scarborough public education. Individuals that work in that building, the staff there, they know the students that they're working with, and they give 110% of themselves. So for that part of the city as well, those students, they're going to be missing something. Bendale is a different feel, provides a different kind of education. And it's just a different level of service to those kids. So it is certainly the end of an era.
Yeah, it's sad that Bendale's closing because there's like a lot of memories to this school from like grade 9 to sports to, you know, finding your first love and stuff, learning the life mistakes from the school.
It's sad because like I've been here for a while and it's a really good school. It's sad that they're shutting down, but like it's I just don't know what to say. But this school is still gonna be in here. That's
always.
Yeah.
Always.
So yeah.
It is this kind of commitment and passion that makes a difference to students. You know, I want to give props to Mr. Pavich and Miss Mazzaferro. 3 years of working together, and you know, we did that in a conflict-free way, which is not easy in a high-paced environment such as Bendale. I also want to give a shout out to the teachers at Bendale. At every school you work at, their challenges and their successes. At every school that you work at, there are people that you work great with and people that you work not so great with. So we've achieved a lot here. So I want to give a shout out to the students at Bendale. I learned so much from our students. You know, you sometimes think you know a lot, but when you work with students, you always learn something. I've learned a lot about anxiety. I remember this one student who did not show up for the literacy test in the morning. I called her parent, and she just didn't want to get up and come. And you know, it was related to anxiety, and I was beginning to understand how anxiety can affect students. I've learned a lot too about behavior and how students, it's not a learned behavior, and sometimes it's things that cannot be controlled. You know, elementary teachers have told me that in their schools, when students misbehave, you know, statements such as, you better behave yourself or you're going to end up at Bendale. So the perception of Bendale as a negative place has been reinforced in elementary schools. It has been enforced in the media, and most people have had that perception. You know, I mean, when I arrived there, for example, there were no academic or university courses, but in the 2015-16 school year, we started academic and university courses. Also, you know, more students have applied for college this year than in the last few years. So there's an uptrend in students who are achieving highly. And in the 2016-17 school year, we established a school council, a student council, and they've performed above and beyond. You know, serious acts of violence that make the media can happen in any school, but you know, I'm pleased with the way the students here have, you know, established a sense of community and have reported things early and have worked together to ensure that there are no serious incidents in the school that can, you know, promote the bad name that Bendale has had for a number of years.
Maya Angelou said, "Nothing can dim the light that shines from within." Grads, I would like all of you to remember that. No matter how down and uninspired you may feel on some days, if you are able to find your inner strength to pull through whatever may come your way, you will truly be unstoppable.
2019 is that special year. that you will remember the last set of graduates that are leaving this school, moving on into colleges, university, apprenticeship program, or perhaps right into the workforce. Whatever those endeavors are, I want to wish you all the best.
I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. For 4 years, I did plumbing straight, and this year I'm done high school, and I'm going to college for plumbing.
To be honest with you, I want to be able to change this world. I want people to understand what I have to say, and I want to change this world for the better.